Before creating this website, our e-commerce watch website was pink and purple and boring until something happened. We decided to modernize it, which leads us to this. So we have this Flex Watch website with the useless search button that has nice focus and hover animation with the cool aquatic button that looks very dope, and you will see it throughout this website. We also have a useless heart button and a cool cart icon button that opens the empty cart sidebar because we are too broke to add anything in the cart for now. Also the nav bar that closes when clicked on the link to any section after it reaches said section, or if we click anywhere outside the nav bar. And this concludes our header. I hope you guys notice the scroll bar as well. Anyways, for home section, we have a slider for watches that you will see a million times in this playlist with nice backward and forward slide animation, along with some text we don't care about, and a learn more button I will link to the next section. This next section has same 3 watches morphing again and again with animation over a 3D looking boxes, and some text inside a glass morphic box on the side showcasing why we should choose our watches. We also have a nice scroll progress that comes into view after scrolling to the second section, and it has hover animation. This on click will straight up take us to the top of the web page. I am not sure if you can see this, but the glowing title of the section on hover gets filled, and it's the same with the subtitle of the section. These cards are where you get the items in the cart when you hover over each card and click the Add to Cart button. It also has a buy option and rating of the best-selling items for no reason. If you open the cart after adding, you will see these items and their prices along with the option to remove these items and the useless checkout button. We have a cross to close the sidebar with some CSS transform animation. Basically, we have add to cart functionality with add update and delete from cart options. Also it updates the amount. I hope you guys love the animation and functionality of this cart, and if you want to see a slightly different kind of add to cart video, then watch the video I made. Link in the description. Also, the card hover animation is smooth, right? I hope you guys also like our secondary button because this is the only section you will see it. Initially, this beautiful gallery was supposed to be fully masonry layout, but then this looked cute and display images on scroll animation with hover animation looks dope as well. Now this testimonial has scroll animation to along with being a smooth slider with different images of the customers and their quote about our product. We have 5 of these testimonials in total along with a tag on each image suggesting what they bought. I hope you guys know the names of the fictional characters I used here in these testimonials. By the end of this video, we will create this back to top as well. Our blog section also has left and right reveal animation on scroll for each blog post. You guys should also notice the text and image layout for each blog post that will be different for different screen sizes. Footer has scroll animation, as well as hover animation on links along with our newsletter field and aqua button. I think I forgot to show you guys how navbar on clicking the link first goes to the section and then closes with the not so common animation. What can I say, I was feeling something unique. Anyways, now it's time to see different screen sizes for this watch e-commerce website. Let's analyze how the layout of this e-commerce website on mobile and tablet screens look to ensure responsive web page. I love his homepage animation, it's so cute, and if you do want to see more cute web development content, then you need to subscribe to my channel and turn on a notification bell. Bet you didn't see this subscribe to my channel thing coming. I should let you guys know that today, we will set up the basic structure of our website with CSS defaults and resets, see the images we will use, and check out the fonts and set up the buttons today. Also the scroll bar and scroll indicator with the back to top animation. We are basically going to set up everything to the point all the rest of the sections we will code in the future will automatically look quite good like texts, buttons, colors, background colors. So this video is very important for the rest of the playlist. If I remember by the end of editing this video, I will put the code for this along with startup files and images in the link in the description. We are having new beginnings with this playlist, so let's have a great time together. I hope we stay for a long time in this journey. Also, if you have any opinions about something in this demo or code, feel free to share it because everyone has a great idea, and I may have not thought of it, so I would love to hear your opinions and ideas to make it more better and great. I have not speed up this demo, so you can actually see the animations and transitions as they should be rather than a speed racing where we can't see or understand anything at all. My laptop is hanging a lot, as well to help you guys really see all the animations without missing anything. Such thoughtfulness on my laptop's part, I am impressed. I hope you guys noticed all the different layouts for different screen sizes in each section. We are going to make each section in one video where we can see each section as well. Next video in this playlist will be the entire header. I wanted to make the header and home section in one video, but then the video will be too long and no one will watch it, and that will make me sad. So after this video, it will be header and then home section in this playlist. We will learn to make some cool stuff together in our channel and in this playlist, so please stay tuned. I hope I didn't drag you guys in this demo. It has finally come to an end after 84 years, so let's set up our files now. Here is our title of the landing page website. I have already commented the entire HTML and CSS files to make sure we don't mess up. Commenting your projects is important, guys. We also have an empty JavaScript file ready to add some fun in this e-commerce website. Font CSS file is also linked in HTML that includes all our fonts linked to their files. We will probably only use 2 of them, but just in case we have 3 fonts. We also have a font awesome link for icons in this website. Now, this is our style sheet that is fully commented. Here are our CSS comments. Let's quickly see the images we will use in this Watch e-commerce website. We will repeat some of these images as well because we are too lazy to find any more images, so good luck getting bored with them. Oops, this tiger image is not included. We will delete it later. Notice some of these gallery images are cut differently, and that's because we got the images that are focused on watches as well as looked good with different widths on different screen sizes. We also have an SVG image for the quotation. Now it's time to write our CSS defaults and resets after opening our browser in VS Code. Since this is the first video, we are keeping things easy and simple and not making anything a big deal, so let's hope for the best. Time to set some CSS resets, and later we will create our back to top. So since we are setting up CSS defaults, I decided to add some stuff in HTML to see what we really are doing. These are our root variables that we just added from the text file. It includes colors as well as 2 of our fonts. This CSS code customizes the appearance of the scroll bar for WebKit browsers. It sets the scroll bar width to 7 pixels, applies a background color using a variable to the track of the scroll bar, and assigns a different background color to the scroll bar's thumb, which is the draggable part. This CSS snippet resets default styles and ensures consistency with all elements, including pseudo elements, use border box, and also default margins padding are removed. While the list styles for UL, OL, and LI are reset, removing bullet points by setting list style to none. The HTML and body elements have smooth scrolling enabled, a default font size of 12 pixels, and horizontal overflow is hidden. I prefer to make text responsive by simply adding font size in HTML body on different screen sizes and rem units in the rest of the code, so I don't have to change font size for everything again and again. Remember the pretty background color of the website? Well, the body has a gradient background, capitalized text, and optimized font rendering, using a custom font and line height. I had 10 background linear gradient colors, out of which this looked unique and unpopular, so here it is. Images, pictures, and SVGs are made responsive by setting them to a maximum width of 100%, and they retain their aspect ratio. For autofill fields and forms, a long transition prevents flashing of background colors in WebKit browsers. This is CSS resets are for any of my projects, so even if we may not use this, we have styles about autofill. Anchor tags, images, spans, and buttons are all set to display block, making them occupy the full width of their container, while anchor tags inherit color and remove underlines. Inputs, buttons, selects, and text areas are styled with no background or borders, and they inherit fonts and use lowercase text by default. This completes the base of our e-commerce website. This CSS defines reusable classes for scroll animations and a flexible layout. Elements with the data reveal attribute start off with a translate Y of 50 pixels transformation and are hidden with 0 opacity with a smooth 1-second transition. Once scrolled to the part, variants like data reveal left and data reveal right apply horizontal transformations, shifting the elements left or right. Using JavaScript, once an element gets the revealed class, the transformation resets to its original position, and it becomes fully visible with opacity of 1. The container adds padding, and Reusable sets a flexible layout using Flexbox to align items with a gap and wrapping for responsiveness. Now it's time to set some text defaults like our section titles and other headings and subheading texts. Heading text and subheading set the font size and use a custom font of Recoleta, with heading text having a larger size and full width, while subheading is smaller. Title uses Flexbox to align text centrally and applies uppercase, a to-rem padding, and a gap of 25 pixels between elements, with a H1 inside the title underlined and size to 1.1 em. If it is not clear, we are styling our bestseller part that flickers on hover. I am not sure if you can see it in the video or not, but do let me know. This is why we have copy-pasted this title in HTML, so you guys can see what we are styling at the moment and how the code is affecting the text in web page. Text shadow applies italic text, a transparent color, white text stroke, a glowing shadow effect with text shadow property, and a smooth transition for hover effects. It animates using the flicker keyframe, making the text pulse between different opacity and shadow intensities. Well, after this CSS, we will write JavaScript for our data reveal scroll animation. And after that, we will create back to top for the website. I know we are doing a lot of things today, but we have to set up our basics for this e-commerce website before starting the actual code for sections and header. When text shadow is hovered, the text color turns white. This tag contains small subtitle that needs to have a different font than the other text shadow. We will figure out different font size for different screen size later. Let me just figure out the perfect font size first. It looks a tiny bit small to me. I think 0.72 em will have to do for now until we set HTML body font size. Now for the flicker keyframes to create animation. The flicker animation, applied via at keyframes flicker, creates a subtle flickering effect by changing the opacity and size of the text shadow, mimicking a glowing pulse. Although you may not notice the very slight difference in adding or removing the keyframes animation, it's too subtle, so if you want to skip the flicker animation, you can. Hover does almost the same thing. Now before we start with the button, I have some box shadows and background images copy-pasted in the text file because it was taking me too long to write and difficult to display. But don't worry, you will be able to see it now. But if not, then check out the link in the description for this code. The button container uses Flexbox to center align the button both horizontally and vertically. This makes sure the button inside it is placed neatly in the middle of its container. While the button styling sets the font size, capitalizes the first letter, and adjusts letter spacing for a compact text appearance. It uses CSS variables for the text and background colors, while a dynamic box shadow adds depth with a soft glow. Additionally, a two-tone linear gradient is applied, and smooth transitions ensure a seamless animation effect on hover or interaction. I have auto prefix on that. Just put the code in the next line inside linear gradient or anything like that in the same line, which will make the code go out of frame and may create mistakes, so I will share the button defaults as the image right after this. See how when the border radius is written, the box shadow went in the same line, giving the impression I cut the video and changed the code, but it didn't happen. Anyways, I will share the code, so that should be good enough. We will only have one button throughout the website, and only one section has a button, which will also use these same button styling, so we don't have to worry about anything regarding buttons after this. I hope this gives the aquatic button vibes. I think we are done setting up the button defaults. except position relative, which is very important. Here, the content ensures the pseudo elements are visible even without text content. The inset 0 positions them at the edges, covering the entire button. Position absolute makes them relative to the button, allowing proper layering. The border radius of 5 rounds their corners to match the button's rounded shape, giving a cohesive design. Whereas for before, background image features a radial gradient for glow and a linear gradient for texture. Box shadow adds depth with inset shadows and background blend mode. Overlay creates a sleek blend. Background size and background position adjust gradient placement, while mix blend mode of overlay enhances blending. Filter blur adds a subtle blur to enhance the glow. Now it looks a bit like the one in demo. The background uses a linear gradient with 2 shades blending into transparency, giving a layered look over the button. The pseudo element is slightly shrunk with top, left, right, and bottom properties to leave space for a glow. Filter blur variable intensifies the glow, while mix blend mode screen creates a vivid, dynamic effect with the button's background. When the button is hovered, active, or focused, it removes the default outline and adds multiple box shadows to create a layered, glowing effect. The background gradient position is slightly adjusted for a dynamic visual change. Fun fact, I have never gained as many subscribers on the short as I have for this e-commerce website short, whose link is right at the top. The button span is styled to align its content centrally with inline flex and apply a subtle drop shadow for a glowing effect. It also has a smooth transition for all properties, enhancing the visual change over 0.5 seconds. By the way, I also have a portfolio website playlist and a restaurant website, so if you want to check it out, link is in the description. So this is the finalized button defaults for our Watch Ecommerce website. Now it's time to make text responsive, either it be title or other texts. For now, let's just put this tag's font size in the main code. I don't know why I wrote it in media queries. So this title text of bestseller looks small on the large screen, so let's fix it. In media queries, when the viewport is above 768 pixels, we will have the title H1 font size to be 2M. As far as above 1024 for pixels viewport is concerned, I think we are okay with the title. See how title grows big for the large screen sizes. Let's have HTML body font size to be 14 pixels and 1024 pixels width. I don't think I can grow the screen above 1000 in VS Code. So now we have 12 pixels HTML body font size for small screen, and this browser to figure out HTML body font size for above 1024 pixels width. I think 15 pixels font size for 1024 HTML body width will do, but let's make sure. Let's finalize 15 pixels and go for JavaScript. To explain why we need JavaScript, remember this data reveal attribute that we created. If I put data reveal left and data reveal right to, let's say, in this title and tags, it's just gonna make it disappear. That's because data reveal has opacity of 0, and it will only work if we put the data reveal revealed class to it. That's when you will see the data reveal from either left or right side. For that, we will need JavaScript. In JavaScript, it first selects all elements that have the data reveal attribute using query selector all and stores them in the reveal elements array-like object. The scroll reveal function checks if each element is within a certain portion of the window's height. If an element is in view, it adds the revealed class to trigger visibility with opacity 1, and animations like data reveal left or right also triggers on its own. If not, it removes the class to hide the element with opacity 0. It calculates whether the element is in view by checking if its top edge is less than a fraction 1.15 of the window's height using getBounding client rect. So if this data reveal exists in an element and it is scrolled to view, it will add revealed class that will change element's opacity from 0 to 1 and also transition it into view with animation. Else in other case, the revealed class will be removed and not exist, leaving the element with data reveal attribute with 0 opacity. An event listener is added to the window object that triggers the scroll reveal function whenever the user scrolls the page. This looks to be working well on title and tags. Time to create back to top, so we are completely done with this introduction video of Ecommerce Watch website. Starting with writing it in HTML with data back top attribute and %0 in the web page. In CSS, the back to top button is fixed at the bottom right corner of the screen, positioned 30 pixels from the bottom and initially off screen at -70 pixels from the right. It has a circular shape, bordered by a dashed line, and styled using variable for both text and border color. The button's visibility is initially hidden, and it uses a smooth 0.5 seconds ease transition for movement and visibility changes. The content inside the button is perfectly centered using grid and centered, creating a clean, balanced layout. When the show class is applied, the button moves into view by translating left by 100 pixels. The button becomes visible when scrolled to a certain position that we will dictate in JavaScript. On hover, it changes its text color to background light for visual feedback. This JavaScript code adds functionality, which shows the percentage of page scrolled and reveals the back to top when scrolling past a certain point. The scroll event listener is triggered whenever the user scrolls the page. Inside the event listener, body height gets the total height of the page. Window height gets the height of the visible part of the window. Scroll end pause calculates the maximum scrollable distance by subtracting window height from body height. Total scroll % calculates the scroll progress as a percentage of the page scrolled. If you like this video, even if I am not an expert video editor, then please give me your feedback in the comments below. I will appreciate it. Anyways, back to the code at hand. This percentage is displayed as text content inside the back to top. If the page is scrolled more than 5%, the button gets the show class to make it visible, otherwise, the class is removed, hiding the back to top again. I hope you guys aren't too bored with this video. It went a little too long as expected, but it will be over soon. This seems to be working. If you have been dealing with my dead humor for 23 minutes straight, then